For those who have just tuned in, this video is about how to make your website responsive with Elementor. Because sometimes you can run into this issue that you create a beautiful website with Elementor, and on desktop, like here on desktop, it looks beautiful. All these sections are perfectly adjusted, all the spaces, all the paddings, margins, all the fonts are of perfect sizes. But when you switch to the mobile view or to the tablet view, something goes wrong, and you can see that, it's not really comfortable to read. Maybe some sections are really just changed places and just positioned randomly. Just your entire layout goes wrong. And today we're going to have a look at how you can fix this issue. It's absolutely beginner friendly, and even if you have never worked with Elementor before, or you're just starting out and you haven't really looked into the responsive settings yet, this tutorial is a perfect start for you. So first, let me introduce you the theme that I'm working with today. It is Monster 2, and this theme is the best WordPress theme for Elementor that TemplateMonster team has created over the latest years. This is the first theme that you should get if you need, even if you work with clients or you want to create a website on your own. This is the perfect solution that is suitable for both beginners and for more advanced users. And first, it goes with a ton of a tiny bit of information about Monster, and then we're going to proceed to the actual tutorial. So the first and probably the most important feature that this theme has is a set of over 12, if not mistaken, plugins for Monster. For Elementor. Over 12 plugins for, is it 12? Okay. You just go to this page and count, because I'm not sure, but what I know is that these plugins are premium add-ons for Elementor, and with this theme you get all of these for free. They are included in this theme, and if you want to check this out, here is the link to it on TemplateMonster.com. Read more about it. I'm not going to be going into much detail about this theme, just to not take up too much of the time of this live stream. And the second way to get, the website keeps loading. The second way to get this Monster 2 WordPress theme that we are working with today is in one subscription by TemplateMonster. And this subscription includes over 10,000 premium products for not only WordPress, but for other CMS platforms, for e-commerce platforms. Also, there are tons of plugins for various CMS systems. Also, there are presentation templates for PowerPoint, Keynote, and Google Slides, and also illustrations. And what's great about this service is that you can download the unlimited number of products, use them for the unlimited number of projects and unlimited number of times. So there are really no limitations once you subscribe. And this website is one.templatemonster.com. And finally, we're now going to proceed to the actual tutorial. So you can open your WordPress theme in Elementor right now and keep along and try and apply all the hints and all the techniques that I'm going to be showing you in this video. So let's see what we can do here. So the first thing that you normally do is you create the desktop layout. You start off with the desktop layout, and even if you have the design for the mobile version, sometimes you might start with the mobile version of your website first, but most people still, even though creating responsive websites has become the priority. The mobile version for some web developers, for some website creators, is the priority right now, and they start the entire website building process with building their pages on the mobile layout, like that. So they start with the mobile version, but most people still start with the desktop version. And since we are doing this live stream on this particular topic in response to the request of one of our viewers, and you are free to ask any questions, you are free to actively participate in this live stream. So if you want me to show you some specific feature, some specific technique, some specific workflow, just let me know. And I see messages in the live chat, and thank you so much for sharing. This is great, and thank you for supporting us. This is a great help. And yeah, if people like these videos, we're gonna keep making more, and we're just starting out with the series of these live streams. So if you have any suggestions for the topics for the upcoming live streams, since we're still experimenting with the topics, we're trying to find to what audience we should appeal to, the beginners or for more advanced users with the custom CSS and Elementor Pro users, or the Elementor free users. And I see a message in the live chat. Oh, will this video be uploaded later on? Yes, we are. All the live streams, we keep them on YouTube, and they're being published right after, maybe a couple hours after the live stream. The video is being processed, and then it is uploaded to YouTube automatically. We do not delete it, it stays there. And since it stays on YouTube, you can watch it anytime later if you don't have time now. And yeah, I have a new t-shirt today, and it's not the Marvel product placement or something, not the Marvel promotion, just kind of a fan of Spider-Man. So let's actually now proceed to the tutorial. So I keep checking the live chat, so I'm gonna see any of the questions that you're gonna be asking in the live chat. So now the first thing that you do once you want to proceed to creating the mobile layout for your website, your desktop version is done, and then you go to the responsive mode here. It is in the left hand bottom corner. You go here and you either choose tablet or mobile. But the thing is that you can adjust your layouts for these two types of devices, and you see that there is such thing as a breakpoint, like preview for 768 pixels or 360 pixels. These are called breakpoints, and I'm going to explain this for the beginners, for the people who are watching this and who are not really familiar with all the terms and all the terminology, all the stuff that experienced web developers use. Breakpoint is the number of pixels at which, if you resize your page to this particular number of pixels, for example, once this page is 768 pixels wide, it's gonna switch to this particular layout for the tablet layout. Or once we resize this page to 360 pixels, it's gonna resize to this layout, like that. And in Elementor, you can change the look of each layout. And I see new questions in the live chat. So how can I make that same in landscape view? Landscape view, probably you mean the desktop device, right? For desktop layout, probably. This is what I think you mean. And maybe this is what it is right here, the desktop layout. And the desktop layout, it can be edited here if you go to responsive mode. If you go to responsive mode and if you choose desktop, this is how you edit it. You just edit the elements, you edit the widgets, you change the layout, like the order of sections and order of the columns. Then you... Oh, okay. I see. The iPad. This is actually an interesting question. And I believe that it is... Okay, this is an interesting question, and I haven't really checked it yet for any of my websites, but what I know is that it is going to be the same. It's going to be the same layout, and probably just a little bit wider, because if it's a tablet, it probably depends on the dimensions of the device itself. It probably depends on the dimensions, and I think that this question is better to be asked, the actual Elementor developers team. So it's called landscape. Okay, my bad, landscape mode. Sorry. Okay, I got this. Landscape mode. Yeah, when you turn your device sideways, it's called landscape mode. I got this. Yeah, and I think that this question, actually, if you want to know more detail about it, it's better to be asked. It's better to go and ask the actual Elementor developers team. But what I can say is that it all depends on the dimensions on the device, and if it is like pretty big tablet, and the difference between the vertical mode and the landscape mode is really big, like it's, the vertical dimensions are a lot bigger, and once you turn it sideways, it might switch back to the desktop mode just because of the breakpoint that you set. And I was actually about to go and show you how you can change the breakpoints for your devices. So we now go to the WordPress dashboard, and I'm going to show you where you can change the breakpoints. So the breakpoints, here they are. For example, if you want the tablet layout to be switched on, for example, not for 768 pixels, but for, let's say, 1068 pixels. Let's see how we can change it. And oh, I see a new question in the live chat from Alexey Belayev. And hey there, I saw your question, and actually, yeah, I was going to answer, but because of the live stream, kind of got distracted. I actually checked out that link, and I was about to write you a comment that this is a really interesting idea, and I'm really excited to try and do it myself. And I have checked it on my website, and it is pretty easy to do. And I need a couple days, to get done with my other stuff. And yeah, I'm going to do a tutorial on it. So if you wait a couple days, I'm going to upload a tutorial on this topic, how to create these overlapping sections with Elementor, in just a couple days. So wait for it on our YouTube channel. We're going to do it. We're going to do a tutorial on this topic. Thank you for the suggestion. It's a really cool idea, and I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be thankful to you for suggesting it. So we're now here in the dashboard. So if we go to Elementor settings, this is where we're going to be able to change. We're going to be able to change the breakpoints, and yeah. For the people who don't know, Alexey Belayev earlier today, probably today, right, posted a comment under one of our videos about one website on which he saw how these sections overlap each other, an interesting scrolling effect. And we're going to do a tutorial on this scrolling effect. I hope you got this. I hope you got what I mean when two sections scroll and they overlap each other. And this looks really cool, looks really interesting, and it is possible to do with Elementor, and we're going to do a tutorial on this effect in a couple of days. It's going to be on our YouTube channel, so stay tuned. Alright, so this is where you go to Elementor settings. Back to the actual tutorial. Sorry for being carried away. I see any questions in the live chat. What is the best way to learn Elementor Pro? Yeah, try and error, or not necessarily try and error, not necessarily a trial and error. It could also be, just looking for tutorials online, just go into the knowledge base that Elementor have posted themselves. The Elementor team have posted a great knowledge base that can run you through all of the features that you have in Elementor Pro. There are actually a ton of overviews of Elementor Pro features online, so you can just go and type in YouTube Elementor Pro features overview or Elementor Pro tutorial for beginners, and there is a ton of stuff that's going to pop up. And if you want me to do an extended tutorial on Elementor Pro to teach you how to use every single element that they have in Elementor Pro, how to use maybe motion effects, that is a pretty new feature for Elementor Pro. So if you want me to do any tutorial on Elementor Pro, just let me know. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a tutorial on any request that you have. If you have any ideas, suggestions, any stuff that you want to learn, just let me know. And yeah, thank you for the compliment. All right. So, all right, back to the tutorial, because I got kind of lost because of the live chat, but it is great that we have activity in the live chat, so keep typing, and let's engage in a conversation. If you have any questions, just type them in the live chat. So the tablet breakpoint and mobile breakpoint can be changed here, and you can simply type in the number of pixels that you want to set for the tablet and for the mobile breakpoints. So this is where they are: Elementor, settings, style, in your WordPress dashboard. So we're back here in the editor. Now let's actually switch to the mobile view. Probably I'm not, to save a little bit of time, I'm going to switch to the mobile view right away, not stop at the tablet view, because on the tablet it's pretty much the same workflow. And we're going to proceed to the mobile view right away, because mobile layout, this is the layout that people have the most problems with. It is like, the text is too big, the columns are in a weird order, and yeah, this is what we're going to have a look at right now. So I have just switched to the mobile view, and the first thing that people pay attention to once they switch to mobile view from the desktop view is that the text is super huge. It's like really big, and you cannot really make out what else you have on the page besides the text element. And by the way, in Monster 2 that I'm using today, all of the layouts, all of the pages are adjusted. They are customized for the mobile layouts. But in order to create this live stream for this tutorial, I had to go and simply drop all of the settings and bring them back to default. So, but still, Elementor itself does a pretty good job on repositioning your content. So this is like pretty much what you got once you switch to the mobile layout. The text is a little weird, but mostly it is not too bad. Probably some margins and paddings might be lost, but overall, yeah, this text element also looks super weird. But mostly the elements look okay. The columns, the great thing about Elementor is that on mobile view, it stacks your columns on top of each other. And this is how you get this nice layout for mobile view, and none of the elements are super small. They're of a pretty normal size because the Elementor itself has repositioned the columns on top of each other. And I see a new question in the live chat. Also, I have a huge question. If I make different style of section 1 for desktop and 1 for mobile, does this affect the page speed or Google search in any way? It shouldn't affect the Google search as far as I'm concerned, but the page speed, it shouldn't affect the page speed because let's say on the mobile device, as far as I'm concerned, it only loads the styles for the mobile device. It doesn't have to load the style for the desktop if the page is being opened on the mobile device, right? It's, at least it's common sense. It's how it's supposed to be. All right, I now see that something weird is going on with the camera, so let me just turn it a little bit like that. So, or maybe like this. So we do not see any extra walls behind my green screen. Alright, is it better? And yeah, if you just like suddenly see a piece of wall sticking here inside of the video in the middle of the screen, just let me know, because I don't always notice it. Alright, so let's just try and see what settings we have for each individual widget. In Elementor, every single element that you have, including text, including all the widgets like buttons, like tables, galleries, everything. Also, columns and sections, they all have a set of settings for certain properties that allow you to set different values for different devices. For example, I have just clicked on the heading element, and here we see the alignment property and in the content tab, and you see that I can even set different alignment options for different devices. For mobile, it can be aligned to the left, for the center, for the to the left, to the center, to the right. But if I now switch back to desktop, it is gonna go with those settings that are set for the desktop version. Like here, it is set to center, so on desktop, it's going to switch back to center. Alright? So I actually want it to be at center too. And now let's go to the style and see how we can actually change the size of this element. Pay attention to what you have 3 icons here: desktop, tablet, and mobile. And you see that the icon that is active represents the active layout that you have. Now we're working on the mobile layout, and it means that now the icon is blue. Now this one is blue, the one that represents the mobile layout. And if we change the size, if we set, let's say 40, the text now is of a normal size. Now it looks better on this particular page. But once we switch back to the desktop, it's gonna get back to that size that was active, that we have set on the desktop layout. So I hope it's clear. If you have any questions, let me know. So see, it is back to the 64 points, 64 pixels. Now it's back again to the desktop value. It's also comfortable to switch between the devices by just clicking on this icon next to the property, and I can also click on this one, and I now have switched to the mobile layout. I don't have to go to the responsive mode here and click on the icon of the device. I can just go to the property and click on the icons next to the property. Does it has? I see new questions in the live chat. Does it have semantic? And excuse me, but I just didn't really get the question. If you have any time to type, to elaborate on that topic, to type some more details about this question, what exactly you want to know, it would be really helpful for me to understand what you want to know, what you want to ask. Another question: is there any way we can change the default look of a widget globally? For example, it is possible to make all the list widget elements look. Yes, it is a great question, and there is actually, actually it's a topic for a totally different tutorial. It's a huge topic, and it's really interesting and exciting how we can work with global widgets. Yes, it is a possibility in Elementor, and like if you go to the global tab here, this is where these settings are supposed to be, but as you can see, this is the functionality that's only available in Elementor Pro. Currently on this particular website, I do not have Elementor Pro, but if you want me to do a tutorial on working with global widgets in Elementor Pro, just note that you have to own the Elementor Pro, the Pro version, not the free version that you can download in the WordPress repository, but the Pro version, the paid version. And if you want me to do a tutorial on it, let's do it. It's a great question, it's a great topic, it's really interesting, but unfortunately it's too big for this live stream. And today's live stream is about responsivity settings, and making your website responsive. Thank you for this question. I will put it down on my list of topics for future live streams. And yeah, we're gonna do it maybe in a week, maybe in a couple weeks. We're gonna just see what we have on our schedule already. So I just showed you how you can access the settings for different layouts. Like that, you can also adjust the line height, the letter spacing. In short, all of the properties that have these three icons next to them in a row, they are going to be adjustable for specific devices. Alright? So you can also change the margins and paddings for specific devices. Also, you have a number of other settings like custom positioning. Custom positioning is something that we're going to have a look at a little later, but you can also change these values for different layouts, which is super cool. Also, the animation. If you use animation on your desktop layout, but you do not want any animation to appear on the mobile layout, it's pretty easy. You just go to the specific layout, like in our case mobile, and change the animation that is set for the desktop layout to none. And on mobile, this element is not going to have any animation. This is pretty simple. So what else do we have? Now we have seen how we can change the size of text, of the text element. And if we click on a button, let's say normally we have a lot of buttons on our website. And what settings can we change here actually? You see, the custom width, alignment, border radius, padding, so a ton of stuff that you can change. Also, you see that on our particular example, the background image looks a little weird because we cannot really make out what actually is in that picture, because it's, you know, the most of this picture, the most of the hero in the image is not in the frame. So it does not really look good. So if we go to the settings of the section, click on this icon here to go to the settings of the section, and there is the image. And you can even set a different image for a different layout. But we're simply going to go to the position and change the position to see how it looks. Yeah, it is a little bit better, I believe. To me it looks better because we do not now have any, any parts that are kind of looking weird. We just have this nice gradient background. So we're just going to leave it like that. Alright? Now, what you see has happened here is on desktop, we had these three columns in a row, and if you have a similar layout, once you switch to mobile, they are automatically going to be repositioned and placed on top of each other, like stacked like this. But in case you want your layout to look a little bit different, for example, you want to have a 2-column layout on your mobile device. Let's do that. We go to the settings of the column, and here in the column width, we can change the width of the particular column. What we can do, if you want to have 2 columns, we are going to set 50, and it is going to make this column take up only a half of the width of your entire page. And we're going to do the same with the second column. And now we have a 2-column layout. It looks a little weird because we have this text here. Now let's try and fix it. Let's see what we can do. So this is a particular widget called services, and if we go to the title and change the size of the text right here, so let's say 20. With the 20 it looks a little better. Description, also we can go and change it to, let's say, 17, maybe too big, 13, something like that. And we just go on and change the elements until they look nice, they look okay on your layout. It is absolutely possible, and it's pretty fast to change the properties, change the values for specific properties on your website. Also with the images, it's the same thing. You can change the size of the image for a specific device. like that. So as you see here, now the mobile version is selected, so you're only changing the values for the mobile version. Alright, now sometimes you want to change the order of these columns here, because on desktop it's all clear. You have 3 columns in a row, like 1, 2, 3, if you're reading from left to the right. Okay, 3 columns. But depending on your layout, you might want to reverse the order of these columns. Let's see how we can do that. Click on the settings of the section, go to responsive, and we see that here for tablet devices and for mobile devices we can reverse the order of the columns. So now the column that was previously, before we switched this option on, that was on top, it is now here at the bottom. We reversed the order of these elements. Like that. So go to section, settings of the section, advanced, responsive, and reverse columns in order to change the order of your columns. Also, if your elements are looking weird, the margins and paddings might be the reason. What you might want to do is to go and try and set all of those to 0 in order to then set new values for the mobile layout. If you set it to 0 for this specific element, it's probably not going to work. Yeah, it changed a little bit, and here you set now the new values for the mobile layout. If we set it like this, this is going to look okay on mobile. This is another issue that people often encounter while working with Elementor, that the margins and paddings that they set on desktop do not look okay on mobile devices. So if you want to fix this issue, just simply set the margins and paddings of the element to 0 and then set the new values. It is going to fix any possible issues. Alright, now another thing. You have built a beautiful layout and it looks okay on desktop, but some of the elements, okay, this text element actually bugs me a lot, so let's go and change it like this. Now it's better, maybe even 35. Yeah. And you want to hide a specific section, column, or element from your mobile layout because it doesn't really fit with the entire layout for the mobile device. Like, for example, these things. They look okay on desktop, but for example, let's say I do not want to see them on my mobile device. Maybe I only want to see these widgets, but I do not want to see the text here. So what I can do, I can choose, let's say, this column. You can do it with any widget, any column, any section. You can hide any of those. If you go to advanced, responsive, and hide on desktop, hide on tablet, and hide on mobile. This is a great option to have because we simply click hide on mobile and we're now hiding this entire column. Let's see it. It now looks kind of like that. This is just an example. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but anyway, I'm just showing you the functionality of the builder. So hide on mobile, hiding this thing again, like this. Let's say we want to hide the entire section because it doesn't really make sense anymore because we have hidden all the text. So let's hide the entire thing and this thing as well. Oh, advanced, responsive, hide on mobile. See, now you do not see this section anymore. Something like that. Looks pretty okay so far. What else can we change here? Another text element that really bugs me a lot. So just so you remember all of the steps to change the size of the text elements on your website, we're going to repeat this an infinite number of times. All right. Next thing that I wanted to show you is that it is now absolutely possible to control the elements with the position absolute and position fixed positions, whatever, you got it. If you have used the position absolute and position fixed already, you probably know what those are and what they do. But for those who are beginners in this entire website building thing, I'm going to go into detail and explain what position absolute and position fixed are. And I see a new question in the live chat. Not really a question, but amazing video. Everything is clear. Thanks, and good questions asked by the public. And thank you so much for the compliment, and I really appreciate. And yeah, I absolutely agree that the questions today were really good, and we now have like 2 more suggestions for new tutorials and new live streams, which is great, guys. Keep going. I really like the activity in the chat today, so thank you for that. So the position absolute and position fixed. Now, if we go to, let's click on the widget, but in the settings of the column, for example, you do not have the custom positioning option in the settings of the column, and in the settings of the section C, there is no such setting, so you only can find it if you click on a specific widget. Pretty much any widget you can find in Elementor, just click on it, scroll down in the Advanced tab, and go to Custom Positioning. Here, what width is a thing that we're going to have a look at a little later, a bit later, not now. Position is what we need right now. So for beginners, for absolute beginners, I'm going to explain what these do. Because most web developers and more experienced Elementor users were super excited when this feature came out. It's a pretty new thing, and it was added in the latest major update, which was Elementor 2.5, and a lot of people were like, wow, it's absolutely incredible, because you can use position absolute and position fixed in Elementor. And let me just show you how amazing this actually is. And you see there's a little note popping up here, a little thing. Custom positioning is not considered the best practice for responsive web design and should not be used too frequently. We know that, but we're going to try and overcome this issue today. And I see a message in the live chat. Thanks for reading the comments. And anytime, you're welcome, and my pleasure, because we're doing this live streams for people, and we're trying to bring more value and help you build better web pages, build better websites, and apply new awesome techniques that we have learned ourselves, and we have some knowledge to share. So yeah, thank you for watching the live streams, thank you for watching the tutorials, we appreciate it. So the position absolute, you see that you can now grab this element and you can drag it around and you can position it in any place you like. In my today's example, it's not that useful as it might be, but if you create a highly creative and highly decorated web page, for example, you have a lot of floating elements that are like, some decoration elements on the homepage at the top, and looks really nice, and you might want to just grab the elements, let's say an icon or an image, and position it at some random place on your page. This is where you need the position absolute, like as a quick example. The position fixed might be a little bit more useful for some of you. Let me switch back to the desktop, because I'm now showing you pretty great features, but you cannot really see them well because we're now in the mobile layout. So this is the position fixed now, and as you see, I can still keep dragging this button around, but the thing is, once I start scrolling, it is here on the page, on the same place where it was, where I left it. So it is in the fixed position, and as we scroll the page, it is kind of sticky. It stays on its place and it doesn't go with the rest of the page. So it's not stuck to the page, but it is floating at the top of the page on its own. And the position fixed automatically adds it the higher index, which allows this button to be on top of all the other elements on the page. which is super cool if you like want to add the, for example, I would say the subscription form for the newsletter, right? The newsletter subscription form, and you can place it here, and your users are going to be scrolling and constantly seeing this subscription form. And probably this is going to prompt them to actually type their email in. This is a great technique. You might try this out on your website. So this is the position fixed. And what you can do here is you can either just grab it and drag it around and place it anywhere you like, or you can use these sliders, which, for example, you might find using the percentage a little bit more safe way to place your elements. Maybe percentage, maybe VW, which are also relative values relatively to the viewport or to the entire width or the entire height of the page. So the people who are more into web development are gonna know what these values mean, and they're gonna choose what measurement they prefer. But I mostly use the percentage, and like that. So just if we place it at 80, you know, it is gone. Why is it gone? And oh, actually, I know why it is gone. Because it is now set to full width, which is the default, mostly the default for the most widgets. The default, not most, but all widgets, because by default the widgets go in this kind of a box. Like, let me just switch it back. Let's just drag it somewhere. You see that this button it's not big, it's pretty tiny, and it maybe takes up maybe 10% of the entire width of your page. But this giant box, this giant widget box, it takes up all the width, and this is why you cannot add any more elements in the same column. So you cannot stack a couple widgets next to each other in the same column, because this blue widget box takes up all the width of the page, which is ridiculous. Why do you need this? And in the one of the latest Elementor updates, they rolled out this inline width feature, and boom, you see that now this blue box is now tightly wrapped up around your widget, around our button in our case, and you can drag it anywhere you like. And if I now set 80%, it is on the perfect place, like where I want it to be. Maybe a little bit lower because it's kind of too high. Maybe like that. Oops. Here. Hey. Yeah, percentage here as well. And maybe 70, no, 90. And 90 also here. Nah, it's too much. So you see, you simply look at your page and you adjust the values so it all looks nice on the particular page. And since we use percentage, it's gonna be a little bit safer if if you then have, like, say, a bigger monitor or something like that, it's still gonna stay at the 80%. All right, what we can do next is see how we can overcome any issues that might come up if you use position absolute and position fixed on mobile devices. And by the way, if you want to learn more about using position fixed and position absolute, or if you want to learn more about inline width, we have a couple of tutorials on our channel on YouTube, which you can watch, and you can see more about these properties, because inline width allows you to do a lot of things. For example, adding multiple widgets in the same column and then aligning them vertically and horizontally. There is a ton of options. I'm just going to quickly just go and watch the tutorial, because these live streams tend to be super long, and I'm not sure if you like to watch videos that are that long, like an hour or so. By the way, let me know in the live chat if this format that we are doing right now, like long webinars with reading the comments, reading the live chat, like an hour long, maybe an hour and a half long, is that an okay format? If you're, if you like watching these, just let me know in the comments, so we can adjust this format for your needs, for what you want to watch, for what you're more comfortable watching. Just let me know. All right. So let's just switch to the mobile view. And as you see here, this button has jumped to a weird place. It is now just floating at the center of the screen. And I don't know if anyone wants that effect, but probably this is not what you expect once you switch to the mobile version. So what we can do here is simply go and adjust these values. Just simply change them. Go to the percentage again and try and adjust them. Try and move these sliders the way that is gonna to position this button at the place where it is supposed to be. Something like that. But anyways, this is really not the safest practice to use the position absolute and position fixed effects. You might want to do that, but anyways, this is a trick. You simply change these values, the horizontal orientation and the vertical orientation for mobile layouts. You simply change these values specifically for mobile, but this node is here for a reason, and it is not always the safest way to use, to position your elements. It is not the safest way. So what I would recommend is to go to the advanced settings. We're here currently. Go to responsive and hide this element that is that has position fixed or position absolute on the desktop. It is sometimes, not always, but sometimes it is better to hide it on mobile. So just go to responsive, hide mobile. There we go. The problem is solved pretty much. So it is your choice whether to use the elements with position fixed and position absolute on mobile and tablet devices or not, or simply hide them and erase the problem at all. And I see a new question in the live chat. Hey there, and when we change on desktop version, does it affect on mobile version? Not at all. It doesn't. And the other way around as well. Once you change the values on the mobile version, it does not affect the elements on the desktop version, because you create three different layouts, three absolutely different layouts. One for desktop, one for tablet, and one for mobile. Sometimes when you, for example, when you have just created the layout for the desktop device and you have set the values, the size for your text, the size of paddings and margins, the size of spaces, all that stuff, you have set particular values for your elements, and you have switched to the mobile device, just switched for the first time. Then you're going to have these values, the same values that you have set for desktop, like with our text, like we had with our text. I have switched from desktop to mobile and my text was super huge here, but I then went and I simply changed this text. Okay, let's put this button back there. I simply went and changed this text, the size of this text, to 40 pixels, while on desktop it's 64. You see, we now change the layouts and the values are absolutely different and the elements look absolutely different. So you're basically creating different layouts with different settings that are absolutely independent from each other, settings wise. But yeah, you have to look out for these properties that have these icons next to them. So only these are the values that are changeable for different layouts. Like you see 64 on desktop, and once we switch to mobile, it's 40. This is how you do it. And what else? If you have any other questions, I think we're gonna be live for about maybe, now we have been live for 52 minutes, which is kind of super long, I guess. And I think we're gonna be live for 5 more minutes. And if you have any questions, just hurry up and ask them in the live chat. You're welcome. I hope this video helped you understand a little more about responsive settings, probably responsive settings, in Elementor page builder. So what else? Yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned the subscription service, one subscription service. Let me just get back to it really quickly. I mentioned the subscription service, which once you subscribe, allows you to download, and it keeps loading because of this stream. It's a little bit slow, so sorry for that. Once you subscribe, it allows you to download an unlimited number of products, unlimited number of more than 10,000 products for WordPress, for other CMS platforms. Maybe if you're using something else as well alongside WordPress. There are also a ton of WordPress plugins, including premium WordPress plugins for Elementor. And there's also Monster 2, the WordPress theme that we are using in this tutorial, in this live stream. And once you subscribe, it allows you to download an unlimited number of products and use them for an unlimited number of projects and an unlimited number of times. So also, the great news is that you can find right under this video in the description, you can find a promo code for a 10% discount, and you can subscribe. Here's a discount going on by itself, like sort of a sale. Here it's now not 19 but 17, and you can get an additional 10% discount if you type in here in your cart on this website. If you type in the 10% promo code, and there it is in the description, it is webinar 10 for promo code for 10% discount. So, and I have a couple new questions in the live chat. Hello, please can you explain about sticky header on free Elementor? Yes, but it is going to be a totally different tutorial, because you see, since I'm using Elementor canvas on this particular layout, I do not even have any header. And the tricky thing is that to change the settings for the header, to even create your custom header and even make it look the way you want and edit it like any other page, for example, any page or any section on Elementor, you either need Elementor Pro, or you need a WordPress template that has Jet Theme Core plugin installed, like Monster 2. On Monster 2, I can edit the headers and footers without even having Elementor Pro. So I can build headers, I can build footers like any other section on Elementor, and it also gives me a ton of widgets specifically for creating headers. And this is on Monster 2. Only Jet Theme Core. The plugin is called Jet Theme Core. Or the third option is to find some free plugin online. There's quite a bunch available. The free plugin is not always the best solution, but Elementor is free and it works great. So maybe you just have to try and look for other solutions. But with Elementor free, it is only possible to create a sticky header with some additional plugin. With Elementor Pro, you can do it easily, but if you want to do it with Elementor free, you need to look for something else, for some additional solution. If you own Elementor Pro, you do not need any other plugins, only Elementor Pro. But if you want to do it, if you want to create a sticky header with Elementor free, you need to look for a third-party plugin, maybe a free one, maybe a paid one. This is just your choice, your preference. But it could be a topic for another tutorial where we could explore different ways of creating sticky headers, maybe. But for today, it's kind of too big of a topic to cover alongside all the other things that we have talked about in this live stream. Another question, can I use Elementor on PrestaShop? The thing is, Elementor is a page builder specifically built for WordPress. This is a WordPress-based builder because WordPress and PrestaShop are two entirely different platforms, entirely different systems. And if you consider working with PrestaShop and you want a drag and drop page builder, there are solutions that allow you to maybe implement some drag and drop functionality in your website, in your admin panel, but they are really, I would say, if you are used to working with Elementor, you're going to notice that they're really far from what Elementor is capable of. They're really far from that, and I'm not really sure if they are developing any solutions like that. But you might look into it and try and find a solution specifically for PrestaShop. But Elementor, as any other WordPress plugin, works only with the WordPress platform. Unfortunately, yeah, I wish we could use Elementor for any type of website, like HTML website. By the way, for HTML websites, there is a page builder called Navi Builder, which is a great thing. And okay, we're actually drifting away. This topic for a totally different live stream on a totally different thing. Like, yeah, there are builders for other platforms. Just in short, I'm gonna be really short on that, really quick. There are website builders, visual page builders. There's a slight difference between the website builder and the page builder, because website builder kind of allows you to manage more parts of your website, while the page builder focuses specifically on one particular page, right? Kind of makes sense. So with the website page builder, you're able to manage, you have bigger kind of possibilities, you have more options, you have more customization possibilities, you have more freedom. While building your website, you can edit things like headers, you can edit things like footers, also single page templates. Like Elementor could be considered even a website builder, not simply a page builder, because with Elementor, at least with the Pro version, it is possible to change the headers, footers, not to change but to customize and create entirely from scratch headers, footers, single page templates, archive templates that you see on your blog. For example, your blog page, it's like normally the archive page with all of your posts as items in this archive. And so yeah, what was I talking about? And yeah, anytime. Thank you for watching. I think we're about to wrap this live stream up, because I'm pretty much done with this topic, responsivity. Oh, I keep struggling with this word all the time. I'm pretty much done talking about the mobile-friendly settings for Elementor page builder. If you have any questions, I think you still have a couple of minutes to ask them. But I am pretty much done, because I keep thinking what else I could show you. But we have pretty much covered all the basic stuff you need to know in order to successfully make your website responsive and mobile friendly and look great on any type of device, starting from desktop and like straight to tablet devices and mobile devices. So this is pretty much it on this topic. What else should I say? If you have any specific problem that you have encountered as a user of Elementor page builder while creating your pages, while adjusting your pages for mobile devices, just let me know in the comments under our videos. Let me know in the live chat right here under today's live stream, or next week, or maybe under one of the previous live streams. Just let me know somehow what problem you have encountered, and I'm going to try and find a solution for this problem and simply do a tutorial on this topic, and we're going to learn together how to solve this specific problem. But all the basic knowledge, all the basic stuff that you need in order to successfully customize your pages for 3 different types of devices: desktop, tablet, and mobile. Those are all were covered in this tutorial. And I hope it was helpful. I hope it was valuable. I hope you have learned something new, because this live stream was mostly targeted to beginners, for people who are just starting out with Elementor and who have probably a lot of struggles with it. They're not really sure what they should do and how they should approach a certain problem. And I hope that during these live streams, we can help you get a little bit more comfortable with Elementor and just start creating beautiful websites in a couple of clicks and with no headaches. So let me just wrap this thing up. Another tiny reminder: grab this promo code. I'm just actually going to copy it in the live chat. So this is the promo code, like that. Oh, hold on. Something like that. Now it is better. So this is the promo code for the purchase of 1 subscription by TemplateMonster, which gives you a 10% discount. And for now, I thank you guys for watching, and I hope we can see each other in a week when we do another live stream. And I'm not sure what topic it is going to be the next time. Maybe I saw the request to do a tutorial on global widgets, on this tiny feature here, which you need Elementor Pro for. And maybe we're going to do a tutorial on that next week, or maybe it's going to be something else, something more interesting, or maybe something more for Elementor free. So if you have any suggestions, just let me know. Type us the comments, and find us on our social channels anywhere on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any type of social media that you are using. Just simply type in TemplateMonster Facebook or TemplateMonster Instagram, anywhere on Google, and you're going to find us. And let us know what other topics you would like to see on our live streams. And I thank you guys for watching, and see you in a week. I hope this tutorial was valuable. I hope you learned something new. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being so active in the live chat today. Please explain custom header. Okay, I was about to finish, but okay. Custom header. As I have already mentioned, you need Elementor Pro. That's it. Either Elementor Pro or Jet Theme Core. And there are 2 ways that I would recommend. I would not recommend you use any free plugins. The only thing that I could recommend is either Elementor Pro, or it is using, for example, Monster 2 that has Jet Theme Core implemented. On the next lecture. Oh, that's nice. It's a great idea to call them lectures. Not lectures, but live streams, I guess. Lecture sounds better. I think lecture sounds better. But we have actually covered it already on one of our previous live streams, one of our previous lectures. And you can find it on our channel. If it was like a couple weeks ago, I would say 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we had this live stream like this one, and we were talking about the custom headers with Elementor Pro, creating custom headers with Elementor Pro. And there is actually a little bit of information on how to create sticky headers. I showed one way to create a there was 2 ways to create a sticky header. One with the Elementor Pro functionality, and the other one is the functionality of one free plugin that you can find on WordPress directory. But still, you need Elementor Pro in order to even be able to edit the headers themselves. So yeah, there is a bunch of information on that topic. Just simply go to our channel, our YouTube channel, and there, maybe, I don't know, I'm saying 2 weeks ago we had a live stream on this topic. So simply go and find it. And yeah, we had a kind of technical problem with the audio on that particular live stream. So I'm really sorry for that. I'm really sorry that at that time we had a problem with that. It was my bad, my mistake, kinda. So yeah, just you can go and watch that tutorial, or I was also thinking on creating a shorter version of it, like recording it separately, to recording a totally different video about that. So yeah, maybe. So yeah, you can either go and watch the video that is already online, but it has a tiny problem with audio, really tiny problem with audio, or you could wait for another tutorial that I am about to make on different ways to create custom headers and custom footers. Yeah. All right, this is it. This is an interesting idea, and I have seen that a lot of people actually want to know how to do that. A lot of people are interested, and a lot of people are having a lot of questions about creating custom headers and footers, because the free version of Elementor doesn't give you this chance, doesn't give you this opportunity, and people are wondering, hey, how can I do that? I want to change the default, this ugly default header that Elementor, that not Elementor, but that WordPress gives me by default, that pretty ugly header that you have really little control of, and the users of free Elementor page builder are like wondering how can you change your default header. So it's a good question, because yeah, this is what concerns a lot of people. This is what a lot of people are concerned about. And since I do not see any more questions in the live chat, I think we're about to wrap this up. Yeah, I still keep looking at the live chat because some new questions might pop up, like, suddenly in the last second when I'm like already about to turn the live stream off, a new question is about to pop up. This might happen, so I keep looking there. So if you still have a couple seconds. Thanks a lot. Anytime, my pleasure. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with me for this tutorial, this live stream, this lecture. I like that you call it lecture. So I hope this was useful, this was valuable, helpful, and you do not think that you have wasted your hour, actually an hour and almost 10 minutes of your time on watching this live stream. And thank you so much, and I hope I see you next week at the same time, the same hour, the same place, also on YouTube. And watch out for the our announcements on Facebook, on Instagram. We're doing announcements regularly where we announce, like I would say on Monday, I guess there's already the announcement about the topic of the upcoming live stream, so check this out. Bye. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Grab that 10% discount with the promo code, and I see you next week. Bye.